All right, so I want to talk about some more patterns from the Evergreen Open recently. This is in the fight with Dashiell Harrison. We're going to go over some fun lefty-righty patterns here and one that kind of goes on throughout the whole fight. We're going to watch the first exchange. That's where we can kind of talk about the pattern. We'll scrub through that one a little bit, and then we'll jump ahead to some similar ones, and then we'll talk about some ways that Dashiell broke out of that pattern, which I think he did pretty successfully in a couple of these exchanges. He just got some less than favorable judging. Let's check that out. So here we go. Sweet. All right. So that's the whole thing there. Let's scrub on back and take a look at some of the stuff that happened. So coming in, almost there. Neat. Okay. So we come in, and something that's going to be important later, so it'll be a fun test, is I come in and settle. And you can see exactly when I settle. You see the bend in my knee come in. You see my stance kind of narrow up. I'm all settled in and ready to go. This is something Dash is going to exploit later, but we'll talk about that way near the end of things. Continuing on through, you can see we make a harassing cut to the hands here. And when that doesn't get him to bite, we make a harassing cut to the leg. This harassing the extremities is going to be an important thing to note to make the rest of the pattern work. After that, Dash does bite. You see that he bites on that leg hit because I've brought my head way in range. You pull up into a high hang-in. This is covering that whole left side. In a left-right fight, I find that to be really important. Whoever's has a lower tip on this side often has more access to the body down here, and I wish that's what I had used it for. But instead, I make that parry, and then I come around the top to hit the head. Now, the really embarrassing part of all of this is I do a great job of coming around and hitting the head on the other side, which works because Dashiell keeps his sword here on this side, so there's an open target around to the other side. And I was quick enough to exploit that, but the really embarrassing part comes right as we kind of scrub through this frame by frame. Check this out. Look at here. I'm going right over here, and I'm parrying over to this side when the attack's coming from this side. This is like a more typical place to catch an afterblow against a right-handed fencer, but against a lefty, you really should be guarding over here on your strong side. And I just, out of habit, go to the other side, and it gets me a lot of afterblows in this fight. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next exchange that I think exemplifies this pattern. All right, so in this next exchange, you're going to see me come in, make a stomp, cut to the body, and then parry high. This is the same kind of idea, and a better idea for how I could parry this. Again, the stomp is just to get him to bite. Once I see him kind of freeze up because he's ready to roll. Stomp, see his hands go high for a cut. Once his hands go high for a cut, we take a quick shot to the lower part of the body here. This is usually where places are open. I think I end up catching his arm though, but that's not the important bit. The important bit is that I parry to the right place this time, where we go high. Ooh, looks like I was a little late, but we're going high to cover this side where the attack is actually likely to come. And Dash is mainly attacking from a high position on that side. Works out great. So there's the cut in there, and we parry to the right spot this time instead of the wrong spot like we're going to do in a lot of these other ones. All right. Same thought here, exactly the same idea and exactly the same pattern. This time we stomp into range. Dash is being a clever boy and does not do anything about it. He's like, I'll just let Mitchell do his little hoppy stompy. Doesn't bite, so we take a harassing cut to the hand to draw him out. Draws him out, parry high in the hang over here. This time, stay on that side, which I like better, but I would have liked it better if my hands were higher, so I can cut more uppy and cover this side better. Didn't do that, just took a quick cheeky slice right in there. And then get caught around the other side because Dash has a better reach on that front. So, nice job there. Same pattern as before, though. Okay, so this exchange is one of my favorite ones that I did this whole time around. It came right on the heels of Dash, what I think was one of Dashiell's best attempts to break out of this pattern. Let's watch it real quick. So come in, hop to the side to cut him off, move to the outside, try and take a hit to the body, miss, cut around to the outside, and then parry the wrong side. Let's just slow that down for a quick sec. So we're coming through here, boom, hop to the outside. This is great. On my end, Dashiell's moving this way cuts him off, which makes him more likely to react. And since apparently I'm trying to bait him out this whole time, this is a really good move on my part. So we'll cut him off there. This also gives me some lateral motion, which is going to let me circle around to his outside here to get a better outside position for my escape, which I never use for whatever reason, and a better angle for these shots to this side of the body, which is what I've been landing the whole time, or at least using to set up the hit to the head that keeps getting scored. So let's go ahead and watch that next bit. If we frame forward a couple frames, boom, we can see that that's exactly what's happened there. We've moved from, we've set here, boom, and then we're going to start moving this way, off to this side to take a hit. We're going to raise our hands high to try and cover. Oh, no, we aren't. But we're going to take a shot to the body. Looks like we don't quite complete that shot to the body because there's a shot coming in. So we roll up into that hanging parry. Bink. Take that one off there. At this point, Dash has done a great job of taking this kind of outside foot position so that he's cut off my escape this way if I want to go that way. But I don't want to go that way. I'm going to come around this side to hit the head. So as we kind of go this way, we're just going to scooch back, it turns out, because I'm not that good. And boop, right on the dome. Dash almost gets the parry in the way. And then the fun, embarrassing part, Dash is like, okay, cool, you hit me in the head. I'm not dead yet. Bam. Whacks me right in the arm because I, again, am parrying off to this side. So that's something that I'm going to have to work into my patterns a little bit more, especially against left-handed people, is making sure that I'm covering where they're actually hitting and not where I think they're going to hit. All right, and this last one we're going to talk about here, I think, is the one I break the patterns a little bit different, and I think it's to my benefit. I think that in this case, I close range a little bit more with that hanging, and I think that works out better defensively for me. So let's take a look real quick. Coming through, we're going to harass the hands, we're going to go for that body hit, and then we're going to finish through the other side, and that does a much better job of covering me there. So two things that are different there is we didn't cut around because we didn't need to, so we didn't make this cut around. We just went straight in here, and then we finished by moving our body this way while that's still covering us. And that gave us a chance to cover Dashiell's shot that's coming from this side and not parry the wrong way. So if we kind of go through that one more time, boom, harass the hand, and then here's the undercut right there. Score that hit, move through, hang high, and just kind of classically walk through it. Now we're up in Dashiell's face. It's hard for him to hit us again. We're ready to wrestle if we want. Now, one thing I am noticing, this is still coming around here, like I'm going to hit him on that side of the head or something, but maybe I'm just settling up for a pommel. Who knows? I wasn't there. That's a joke. Finish it off, and then we can move that way. So that's all of those patterns. And that's just kind of a thing that I wanted to think about in my training, is that hang for against the lefty seems to be working. I think I should prioritize that cut on the same side of the body a little bit more, and I need to recover back into covering the right side of my body because that's where the hit's most likely to come from them. Not always, but most likely. Let's look at a couple smart ways that Dashiell exploits the patterns that I put on. That's pretty much it. Smart ways. Okay, I really love this one here. So Dashiell comes through. I do my little stompy I've been doing all fight. And he just, boom, as soon as I settle, he is on me. Like you can see, he eats up the same amount of distance that he's been eating up. I try to eat a little bit more. And then look at that. He's already launching. He knows I'm going to settle it about that distance because I have been settling it. You can see his feet right here. His foot's already up and accelerating this way like he's about to lunge. He's nice and set here. He's ready to roll. And he makes that attack. Boom. My hands go high, so he's got a clear sign of the body. Come around there. It looks like I'm trying to sidestep it. I don't think I did. I think it was just confusing for the judges. And then we come around to the outside. This is a really smart way of exploiting that initial rest position that I end up in most of these exchanges. And we'll see that happen again in this next one. Okay, this one I think is an even clearer example of that same way of breaking out of this pattern by attacking me as soon as I'm settling. And I think Dashiell does an even better job in this exchange on it. So here he comes through. What? You see me go up there. So he's pretty used to me this up, meaning that I'm going to come down and settle into a little stompy. And so he's ready to rock. You can see right now he's already starting to set up. He's got his legs up, ready to step. He's got a nice plant back there. He's ready to rock. Let's see what he does. Boom. Straight through. It's great. I love how as soon as my foot for this little stompy. Hits the ground. Boom. I've settled. And look at this. As I'm settling backwards, so here I am sitting down. He's already accelerating in and ready to take it. So we come through there. Boom, 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 boom. It's already landed that. My cut that I tried to displace the thrust with absolutely fails. I get poked, and I'm too slow moving backwards off my feet this way to make that happen. So awesome job on that part. I think that exploiting that settle more often might have worked out better for Dashiell, but the judges really weren't giving it to him. I was making it look messy, I guess, and they were having a hard time reading it. But not this one. He got points for that one. He deserved them. Yeah, so those are kind of my overall thoughts on that match. It was a really good time. The whole tournament was a really good time. And I had a really, it's just fun. It's fun to go over this stuff. And hopefully y'all enjoy it too. Okay, cool. I'll talk to you all later or never. Goodbye.